My name is David. Me and my partner Lee, we've been fostering for over 10 years, and we've just recently got permanent care of our boys probably a year and a half ago. Originally I've always had kids around me. I come from a very large family, so there's 11 of us kids across split family and one girl within that whole group, but I've always had kids. Second oldest, the youngest one's still 14 now. So me and my partner were together I think for 3 years, come across a foster care sort of campaign at a local fete, and I don't know, it's just not something I had not thought of, but all of a sudden the question was raised and it was like, well, let's just go for it, we can do this. We've got kids at our house all the time anyway, and then we started thinking about what we could actually help out other kids as well. Look, I think the fate was December. We then had a New Year's Eve party and all best decisions are made then. So it was, well, we've got no reason to not give it a go and try. So I think we started in January, and I think by about April to May we were done. We did do a lot of the counselling and the training at the same time, so we were doing quite intense sort of process there. But I'd say for us it was about 3 to 6 months. Our youngest one is now 7, and he came to us when he was 2. So it's been, I think it's coming up to 5 years in May. Our older boy is now 14, and he came to us I think when he was about 10. We had met him for his 9th birthday. We'd actually gone out to his previous carer and went out for dinner that night. So, but yeah, so all up for about 5 years, and before that we've had many of children. So we started off with respite, moved on to emergency and respite care, and we were very secure in the fact that we wouldn't take on a full-time child until we were ready. And I think one of the people that trained us up originally said, best thing you can do is you need to look after yourself so that you're best prepared to look after everyone. So that we had to be very cautious of not taking on more than we could chew. So look, it was Lee and I and the cat. Lee does tell me he's had the cat longer than me. So it was really good, I think, from a household. Look, it was more us getting used to the fact that when we come home from work, it wasn't just sit down, make dinner and watch TV. There was actual things we needed to do from now on. So I think it affected us a little bit at the start. And then our extended families were great. We've got lots of kids distract other kids, so it was perfect. I actually don't know what I was expecting, but we love it. Whether or not we've had some cases where when we did emergency where the kids were quite traumatised and had some behaviours, but even still I don't think we look back and regret any. We did take on one teenage girl who was 15 at the time. Let's just say we learnt the most with her. But other than that, most kids that we've looked after have been sort of primary school age boys. And I've got a lot of brothers, so they helped with that process as well. I definitely think it's worthwhile. You live your life as normal. You're just adding extra members to your family. It's not as if you stop doing things. You just do things a bit different. I think we look back, and Jackson was the first child we actually ever said yes to take on full time. And I remember it was a Tuesday decision in the car from one office to the other. Stopped beside, I think before I got on the freeway, stopped on the side of the road, and I think we met him on Thursday night, and he was 2, so you can imagine a little 2-year-old. And then by Saturday he was living with us, and the rest is history. So it was great to know that we made the decision. Our theory was we made the decision before we met the child, so then no matter what issues or the child had, we did our best, which I think we have.